Hi, my name is Kelly Corcoran. I am the Interim Artistic Advisor for the Lexington Philharmonic, and we are so happy that you are here and joining us for our virtual Connect with Our Musicians. This week, I will be talking with and interviewing members of the LexPhil viola, cello, and bass sections about some of their favorite moments with the orchestra, the vast repertoire, and more. So let's dive in and meet everyone.
Hi, my name is Victor Dimma. I am the assistant principal bass player of the Lexington Phil. I live in Dayton, Ohio, and I have been with the orchestra for approximately 30 years now.
Hi, I'm Sue Lucas, and I live in Lexington, and I'm a section bass player, and I've been in the orchestra over 40 years.
Elizabeth Jones. I play section viola. I'm originally from Lexington, but now we live in Owensboro, Kentucky. And I've been a member of the Lexington Philharmonic for 29 years.
Hi, I'm Kathryn Drydyk. I'm a section cello. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and I've been in the orchestra a little over 40 years.
Hi, I'm Henry Haffner. I live in Columbia, Tennessee, and I am the principal violist, and I have been in the orchestra for 12 seasons.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Karp. I'm principal cellist, and I live in Lexington, and I've been in the orchestra for 8 years.
Wow, it's great to be with all of you today, and many of you have such a wonderful, rich history with the orchestra. Victor, let's start with you. What is your favorite LexPhil memory?
Back in the day, I guess in the 90s and the 2000s, we used to play at the Horse Park in Kentucky. We would have Pops concerts out there, and some of my favorite memories there are just the way the audience reacted. There would be a little bit of adult beverages going on in the audience, apparently. So I've heard. It was one time we had an ABBA group, and people were just all over the place going nuts and dancing. And those are my favorite memories, to see what how the audience reacts to those concerts, because they just love that stuff.
Yeah, I always love, outdoor concerts. In my scores, sometimes I'll have bugs that have gotten caught between pages. And, I think we all have such fun, or, music flying away, all kinds of unexpected things that can happen depending on the environment. So thank you for sharing that. Sue, let's turn to you, because I know you have some really wonderful hobbies and interests beyond your playing in the orchestra. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your hobbies and other things that are a part of your life?
So I like to quilt, and I just took this up when my grandchildren were born, so I have somebody to give them to. But my favorite quilt is this one. It's a music quilt, and it has all stringed instrument material, which you don't find if you're going shopping for music. You see notes and you see guitars, but to have strings on it is quite unique. So I'm really proud of this.
That's beautiful. Can people make personal orders if they want to get a string quilt from you? So let's turn to you, Elizabeth, and let's chat about what you've been doing during the pandemic.
I've been so grateful for all the arts organizations that have been creative and found different ways for us to make music together. Because making music with friends, that's really what it's all about. So played with Lexington Philharmonic with string quartets at Loudon House and the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland. Then in terms, I'm lucky enough that I get to make music with students every day. So my high school chamber orchestra and the chamber ensemble at Kentucky Wesleyan College, we've been getting together really in person this whole time and playing concerts for very small audiences that we've also been recording. Then the recording sessions have been really interesting professionally. There have been several Zoom style recording sessions where the recording engineer puts everyone together after we submit the videos. So lots of interesting things going on. It doesn't make up really for the loss of the full orchestra on stage. I can't even begin to explain how much I miss that. Looking forward to getting back to normal, but the little things along the way have made a difference.
Yeah, and I think it has been interesting to see during this time the ways in which we can still connect and make music together. And that brings me to Kathryn and a question to you, because talking about the beauty of orchestral music and playing orchestral repertoire, but as Elizabeth was describing, doing some smaller ensembles and things like that as well during this time. So Kathryn, tell us, how is orchestral playing different from playing chamber music?
Well, as a cellist in an orchestral setting, you're usually in a section of 4 to 8 cellists. And so you're one of many. And as far as a chamber setting, for me, most of my chamber music playing has been in a string quartet. So I'm the only cello player on the part. And for me, while both are rewarding and challenging in different ways, my favorite is to be in the middle of an orchestra. There's just nothing like sitting there hearing the large string section, the woodwinds, the brass, percussion, and playing the great orchestral works. For me, that's just the most thrilling.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I think, this describing the environment of being in a big ensemble, a big section, and what that feels like brings me to Henry and my question for you, because you are the principal viola. And so, can you help us understand what is the role of the principal viola player? And I know we have Benjamin on the call as well, principal cello. So how do these principals in the sections communicate with each other beyond the concertmaster role? How does that fit into the other principals in our orchestra in the string section?
Well, particularly for the string sections, a big concern for us, especially the first couple of days of rehearsal, is just making sure our bowings are, making sure we're going at the same time. Who needs to be supporting who, and there's actually a lot of that prior to rehearsal that goes into, so that we get instructions from the concertmaster, and then we try to divvy ourselves up, and even the evening of the first rehearsal, it's like, okay, now they're doing this over here, should we do something different, or that kind of preparing that even before we start rehearsing. In the actual performance, it's I appreciated what Kathryn said about chamber music there. It's it really is a lot like making chamber music. I mean, just like in a quartet, you're going to be making eye contact and communicating non-verbally with your body, with how you're sitting. We're doing that among the principals and all of the first desks. So it is there are moments where, even though there's 100 people perhaps on stage, it actually feels like a chamber music concert.
It's funny because sometimes when I'm conducting, I like to move around a lot on the podium. And sometimes I have to be really mindful because there's this eye contact happening, between the players. And it's so beautiful and so amazing. And I'm always aware of if they've got that eye contact, I want to make sure I'm not getting in the way of that too. We're all working together. We're all collaborators in this music making process. So thank you for sharing that. And, a lot of us have now been talking about orchestral playing and how amazing it is. And so Benjamin, that brings me to you in a question of, what is your favorite piece of orchestral repertoire and why?
I'm not sure, Kelly, that I can identify a single piece because, you love whatever you're doing at the moment, almost without exception. But thinking about this, I think I love sort of the big sprawling works for orchestra. Things like Mahler symphonies. I had the great privilege of sitting principal at Brevard, where I teach during the summers, for a performance of Bernstein's Mass, and you don't get much more sprawling than that piece. And it's just so cool to be in the middle, as Kathryn says, of all of this going on around you, and in the context of this gigantic work of art. So those are the sort of the pieces that I gravitate towards, I think.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, on this conversation, we have viola, cello, and bass, 3 different instruments. And so, Victor, what do you love about the bass?
I guess it's the sound of it, the richness of the tone, the deepness of the tone, the the way the instrument vibrates when you're playing low notes. I mean, it feels good. It's the wood feels good. It's just the overall package. I don't particularly like having to cart it around all the time, and you have to take, when you're buying a car, you have to go take it in there and make sure you can get the thing in the back of the car. So, but it comes with its challenges for sure, not to mention the cost of strings. But overall, it's a really nice instrument, and it's really quite unique.
And Sue, how about you? What do you love about playing the bass?
Pretty much what Victor said. It's the deep sounds, and it is warm, and it's really, I think, sets up the whole orchestra with those great big vibrations, and it just makes you feel good to play the bass and be part of an orchestra and contribute.
So let's turn to the viola. Elizabeth, what do you love about playing the viola?
Well, first let's talk about how much I love the viola. Everything. I love playing the viola more than I love dark chocolate. But
Ooh, that's big. That's big.
But things I love about the viola, its role in the orchestra is really special, that we are the middleman and really the glue that holds all of the parts together. So what I personally love is just blending with everyone and making sure that we match. And as much as everyone loves the occasional solo line that we get, I really like the harmonies and blending the most.
And Henry, how about you as a viola player as well? What's your favorite part of playing in an orchestra as a violist?
It's that being in the middle. It's that center place. Even oftentimes, depending on how we're situated, like a lot of times the violists are literally in the center on the stage, and so just having all of that music around you, like how many times have I been, I'm sitting right in front of the trombones, or I've got the principal oboe right behind my head, and I can see the violins here. In fact, sometimes their F-holes are pointed at me, so it's like I feel like almost like an audience member. It's like I've got the best seat in the house because I'm right in the middle of all this amazing sound.
Okay, so I'm coming back to you, Benjamin, and then Kathryn, we'll have our last question come to you. So for you, Benjamin, what's your favorite LexPhil memory?
There are many. I guess, I love playing the sort of the big cello pieces, leading the section, and with my section, things like the Orfatorio from Verdi Requiem. It's just such a thrill to do things like that. But I had the honor of being a soloist and playing Tan Dun's Crouching Tiger concerto with the orchestra, and that was just a blast to be soloist, to be sitting in front of all of your colleagues, all of your friends, and playing the solo role with an amplifier, so you knew you could always be heard. That was just a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, Kathryn, final question comes to you. Why is music important for our health?
I did come across a quote, which I think kind of sums it all up, because I really feel that music is the universal language without question. It's something that connects all human beings. And this quote was from an Alex Doman, and he says, "Your brain is rewarded and changed by music. Sing songs, go to concerts, play an instrument, and listen to music daily. It will enhance your life and the lives of the people that you care about." So I think that sums it up.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, I want to thank you all for taking time today to chat with us and tell us about some of your favorite repertoire and memories and things you love about your instruments. And thank you to audience members that have tuned in to watch this video. And we hope that you'll check out our future interviews with other sections of LexPhil as well. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Thanks.